Welcome to Scotting Movies. Um, there are movies that you watch, and there are movies that you endure. There are movies that entertain, and there are movies that educate and impact. Today, we're going to be talking about a film that doesn't just tell a story, it demands that you sit up, pay attention, and face some incredibly uncomfortable truths. It's a movie that doesn't blink, even when you might want to. And honestly, it's one of the most important movies of the 1980s. It's called The Accused, and it stars Jodie Foster and Kelly McGillis. Let's talk about what it's about first, and then I'll jump into the review and talk about why it's so important. The Accused follows a woman named Sarah Tobias, played by Jodie Foster, a young woman who is gang raped at a bar while onlookers cheer it on. The film isn't just about that horrifying act, it's about what happens after. The scrutiny, the disbelief, the victim shaming and victim blaming, the judgment not of the criminals but of the victim. Sarah's case is taken on by District Attorney Katheryn Murphy, played by Kelly McGillis, who initially cuts a plea deal with the rapists, essentially saying this isn't a case that she can win. This isn't a case worth trying. But Sarah is outraged at this. She pushes back. That challenge becomes the film's true engine, not just seeking justice for what was done to her, but for the people who let it happen and who cheered on. And so Catherine decides to prosecute those who cheered the act while it was happening rather than those who committed the act. It's not a courtroom drama in a traditional sense, it's a moral trial. One that puts society and complicity on the stand and really turns the attention on those who do victim blaming and those um, who think that because of the way a woman dresses, she deserves something that happens to her or acts or anything like that. So, as you can see, this is not a lighthearted film. It is an important one. I'm not going to make any jokes during this particular podcast, this, because this is just too important of a topic, and it is important that I present it with the right amount of seriousness. Let's first start with the performances. Jodie Foster in the role of Sarah Tobias is devastatingly good. Not just awards good; she won an Oscar for this role. Um, Not just career making good, because it really did. She was known for Taxi Driver back in the 70s, but this launched her career in a whole new way. We're talking iconic in this case. She doesn't just play Sarah, she embodies her. Every moment, every scream, every tear that she gives, it feels like you're watching Sarah Tobias cry and scream. It feels that lived in, that authentic. You're not watching a character, you're witnessing someone survive, someone um, rise to the challenge and to the level of standing up for herself when something horrible had happened to her. This it's raw, it's messy, it's human. She is flawed. She is not a perfectly innocent victim that was gang raped. Um, she drinks, she smokes, she does drugs. She was inebriated on the night of the actual attack. She may have even been called drunk at that time. She dresses very provocatively, and she made some come on jokes to some of the men. That's the point of all of this. The film goes out of its way to show you the women who don't get sympathy from the system because of the way that they supposedly act or dressed or spoke or did something that in some way uh, the justice system says they deserved what they got, which is an awful, horrible thing to say, awful, horrible thing to intend. How could someone deserve to be gang raped? That's what Sarah tries to stand up and say. She didn't ask for it. In fact, uh, she fought against it. She yelled for help. She yelled stop. She yelled no. And is that not good enough? This culture of victim blaming that existed back then and still in a way exists today is so hurtful, is so bad, is so wrong, is so illegal, that a film like this is so important to get that message across. When she takes the stand near the end of the film, when Sarah does, played by Jodie Foster, and recounts her experience, it's not some grand victorious speech. It is absolute pure pain and misery. The courage it took, not just from the character, but from the actress herself, from Jodie Foster, is absolutely staggering to be able to sit there and recount in 100% detail what happened to her. It's not for the faint of heart. Kelly McGillis plays the prosecutor, and she has a quieter role in this film, a quieter force. But don't sleep on her performance. She goes from an arc here. She goes from detached professional, someone who knows that maybe she can't win this case, and so she's not going to try it, to someone who is confronting her own complacency, someone who decides she's going to stand up for her own gender, for her own um, for someone who was so mistreated in such a way. She starts off treating Sarah like a case file, but ends up fighting right alongside her. It's a really powerful performance as well. The performances from the persecutors, from those who attacked her and those who cheered on, is really difficult to watch. They're really good as well, but in a way that makes your skin crawl. One in particular. I can't remember the actor's name. I can't remember the person's name and the character's name in the film. Um, but he is so despicable that it makes you want to hit him yourself. And that's when you know it's a good performance. Now, a warning as far as this movie goes: it does not shy away from the violence that's associated with this particular crime. The assault scene, the gang rape scene, is shown in pretty graphic and horrifying detail. It is nearly 8 minutes long with no cuts. It is brutal. Not in a stylized or sensational way. It's filmed in a way that is deliberately unflinching. You are right there with her as she gets assaulted, as she gets raped. And it's not for exploitation, it's for education, and for having to experience this alongside her as she screams and as she cries. You're not watching for shock value or for seeing skin or some other sexual reason. This movie does not let you escape with that because it is so brutal and so graphic that all you have to do is sit there in shock and in misery as this horrific crime happens to her and as people cheer on in the background. It is one of the most uncomfortable scenes ever committed to film, and one of the most necessary. What's more, this film is indicting the bystanders. There are three people, maybe I think it's three, that commit the actual rape. There are four or five more who not only stand by and watch, but who clap and cheer uh, and encourage the others. And this movie and the prosecutor, played by Kelly McGillis and Sarah, are trying to indict them as well. This film and its message says those men are guilty too, just as guilty, not metaphorically, legally. That might seem obvious today. In 1988, that was a radical idea. At its heart, The Accused is not just a movie about justice, it's a movie about failure, societal failure, systemic failure. It forces us to ask the hardest questions. Why do we demand victims be perfect? Why do we question what they wore or what they drank instead of asking why someone attacked them? As you can see, I have some strong feelings about this film and about the message behind it. This film doesn't offer easy answers. It makes damn sure we stop accepting easy excuses, though. Wrapping up The Accused is not an easy film to watch, as I mentioned before. It's not one you throw on a Friday night with popcorn, surrounded by your family. It's not comforting. It's not fun. It is necessary, though. It changed the conversation around rape in 1988. It changed it. It changed it then. It's continued to hopefully change for the better now around consent, around complicity. And it did not do it with speeches or sentimentality, but with honest, brutal, painful, unavoidable honesty. Jodie Foster absolutely earned her Oscar in this movie, but more importantly, this film earns its place in the canon of cinema that matters. The final grade for this movie is an A plus, not just because it's well made, which it really is, but because it needed to be made. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Um, if you've seen this movie, or if you have something to say about this particular message, please put it in the comments. Um, please like, subscribe, um, hit the notification button. I'll be here breaking down films that don't just entertain, but challenge. Until next time, believe survivors, believe victims, speak up, and remember silence is never neutral. Thank you, everyone.